Alright, on to part 2 of the Unarmed Warrior. I'm just gonna be going through Act 2 as fast as I can, of course. Rathbreaker probably won't be that hard on this character compared to the Sork, but we'll see. I'm probably just gonna use sped up footage till I get there, and hopefully I kill him first try. Alright, I just want to talk here really quick about the problems I was gonna start to have in this act. So basically, because killing Palm and staggering Palm require you to get int and dex, I was not getting enough strength to actually level up Seismic Totem. So eventually, my mobbing again became a problem, and I needed to solve that, but it wasn't really possible to solve it while still continuing to level up my killing Palm, so I always had to choose between being better at killing a boss or killing mobs, and that was just really annoying. The other thing was it took me a really long time to find Rathbreaker. I don't know why, but this map just took me forever to run through. Every time I've done this area, he was always on the top left, but for some reason I just could not find him for the life of me, and I was just running in circles, going to every dead end. As for Rathbreaker himself, I figured out how the bug works that I ended up getting with my Sork, and in all honesty, it ended up just happening on Rathbreaker on this character, and I just abused the fuck out of it. I don't really care. This boss is incredibly difficult to kill if you don't have enough damage to deal with the mobs, and this character just does not have damage, really. Alright, I want to quickly explain the bug that happens with Rathbreaker. If you aggro Rathbreaker and run down the mountain, and then Rathbreaker follows you down the mountain, and then he de-aggros from you and becomes invulnerable while running back up the hill. For some reason, when he gets to 66% health, he just never starts calling in his mobs, and this makes it way easier to do the fight. I figured out the bug. I'm gonna take that. I don't care. I'm probably gonna die here because, yeah. But I'm taking that. I don't even care. I'm gonna skip all the way to the next boss, Rudja, since nothing really happens until this point. This boss really shows how poorly dodge roll is explained to the player in the tutorial. This boss is incredibly easy to beat, except for the one attack where she chases you with her sword swinging in the air over and over. If the player continuously dodge rolls over and over and over to try and get away from this, they will always get caught and die. For anyone who cares, dodge roll is actually faster than normal walking at the start and slower at the end. So essentially, it's only useful if you need a little bit of extra distance to dodge an attack or you want to roll through a dodgeable attack. In the case of Rudja, you actually want to run away normally until she actually does catch up to you at the normal speed you were running, and then dodge roll to avoid the attack.
Slow down! Breathe it in! Die! Die! Bang! 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 the sun! Stand still! Burn, oppressors! Die, die! Burn, oppressors! Burn, slow down. Breathe it in. Burn, oppressors! Deep breath. Stand still. Breathe it in.
Alright, just a quick talk about Ascendancies. At first I had thought I would do the Ascendancy right away, and I did try to kill Balbala the trader, but it just really did not work out. I could not actually do enough damage to kill this boss quick enough before she would do one of her specials, like disappearing and causing the room to fill with gas, or teleporting around and sending all the knights out. So I quickly just decided, you know what, I'm going to move on, go kill Jamanra, and just deal with it. Alright, Jamanra.
Noxious.
Jamanra? How is this possible?
Wrath of a king! Will fall by my hand! Wrath of a king! Will fall by the mannequin will fall by my hand. You are unworthy. I shall dethrone you, Skehema, and leave you to the sands. Of a king! The Madaketh will fall!
Oh, fuck.
By my hand! I shall dethrone you, Skehema, and leave you to the sand! Wrath of a king! The Madaketh will fall! By my hand! Will fall! I tried to seek peace, and the Skehemas disgraced me! Rot in the sand. This time, we choose war! We shall finish this!
Okay, first try, not bad.
Make haste. We must
Made quite a few mistakes, but still worked out.
As the beast, I must stop him.
quickly. He conjures the very sands against us.
So at this point I was running into attribute problems where I didn't have enough attributes to continue leveling up my skills, so I needed to get more passive points. So I decided to go to Keth and kill the snake boss in order to get my 2 passive points from them. This boss has an ability that I'd never even noticed on all my characters running through campaign, which is a aura that puts bones around them, and I'm assuming this only happens after you do her little minion phase where you kill all the snakes, but it makes her immune to damage. And this is such an annoying effect because I didn't even notice it was happening until much later. And I don't really understand this attack because it just kind of slows the boss down for no real good reason. And if you're a lower damage character like my character, it just uber extends the fight. And yeah, you just can't hurt the boss while it has this thing around it. And it lasts like 15 freaking seconds. It's kind of insane. Other than that, the boss is pretty easy. I think I managed to do it without using the checkpoint thing to refill my flasks like I did with the other character, but it took a few tries. It still goes off even if she gets stunned. Next boss was Azarian. This boss is actually pretty easy to do with melee, surprisingly. All you had to really do was get him against a wall, which he literally starts against one, and just dodge close to him. Don't dodge away from him, and try to make sure that you're not dodging in a way where his next attack can hit a canister. It was actually pretty easy. I made some mistakes and blew up, I think, 2 canisters, but overall the fight went pretty good.
Destruction! Embrace corruption! Corruption. Embrace corruption. That wound.
A mortal rifle I ask. Death. Thank you.
Now that I finally had the extra levels and passive points that I needed to go kill Balbala, I went back so I could go get my Ascendancy. The fight itself is actually pretty difficult for a melee character. There's stuff like her poison knives that is just incredibly hard to dodge. as a melee character if you don't happen to dodge around her at the exact time that she uses it, and her jump into the arrow into an explosion. Again, if you're not ready for it, it's pretty hard to dodge these things. And then on top of that, she can just be really buggy sometimes. Wow. What the fuck? You're over here. Alright, that was a lot harder than I thought it would be.
A coin.
I haven't been recording? No. Yeah, so for the trial of Skehema, I actually messed up my starting recording. I thought I was recording for the first seed rooms and I didn't actually record. I also wanted to record showing that I actually was dropping the relic that was given to me and not using any relics. Because of this happening, I actually extended the recording way beyond the boss in order to show myself putting another trial into the device so that you guys can actually see I did not have any relics on.
Always onwards.
Let's just reduce the boss's action speed. I think that that's going to be better than having that little bit of extra on
The
her.
foe ahead is formidable. Steel yourself.
Rattlecage actually was a pretty long fight, unlike on my sorceress. So I am going to actually cut out a little bit and skip ahead just to near the end of the kill because it just took a long time. The boss itself was actually pretty annoying for a character that had to be point blank. I can't really explain how bad it felt for some of these attacks. It was actually pretty close, and I'm really happy I beat it on the first try.
Beware of what falls.
Nice.
Of my strength.
Alright, now I gotta go prove that I did that with no items, which is kind of annoying because I forgot to record at the start. But I definitely did it with no relics. I don't know if there's a way to prove that on the page here. I'm just gonna quickly check if I got anything. Not really. Okay. We're gonna go Titan.
I choose my own way.
Yeah. Not really much to say there.
Nothing will stop.
So, I don't know if Ascendancy points are refundable. I need to go figure that out quick, but we're gonna go for the more life. If it is, I'm gonna go check on another character before I fucking do that, if they're refundable. So there's my thing on the ground. I'm gonna quickly go grab a thingy, and we'll just throw it into the thing to show that I did it with nothing. I'm so mad that I didn't record. After my Ascendancy, I went to Iktab and Ekbab. A few attempts in, I realized I needed better supports for more damage. I sat there for around 6 minutes changing around my support gems, and I added Corrupting Cry for a bit more damage over time, and Corrosion plus Envenom to my Staggering Palm to break a bit of armor whenever I had it active. The Corrosion and Envenom combo on Staggering Palm was actually way better than I expected at this point in the campaign. bosses had way less armor than I expected, and I was usually able to break most, if not all of their armor with just the prime stun and the waves that came after.
Crush them!
Oh, okay, we got it.
Join the dead.
Whew.
So defiled.
Okay,
These tusks
Uber
are what I
optimized
seek.
freaking for damage and got it first try. Let's go. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, the Colossus fight was probably the least interesting fight of this entire act. I literally was just sitting there slapping him in the belly button constantly the entire fight. The change they made so that you actually hit his body instead of his arms was amazing, but being in melee range of this boss is actually very advantageous, and there's really nothing I can say about it that was bad. He never does his like attacks that are long range and kind of dangerous. I'm gonna definitely have to speed this up at the start because there's just really nothing that happened. I didn't use my banner, but I was pretty bad at using the banner at this time still, so that definitely didn't help. And other than that, the fight just went fine, and it was just a slog of me hitting him in the belly button until he fell over. I gotta save mana. Here are these guys. Okay, first try, not bad.
The bigger they are.
Alright, Torgal was a freaking slog. This took 5 minutes of just bashing him in the arms because he didn't get the change that the Colossus got. I don't understand this. It makes you miss a lot with melee attacks if you don't have AoE melee attacks. And in this case, I literally have Killing Palm that just keeps missing his arms when I try to freaking hit him, and it's so annoying. I really wish that they would change all bosses to use the body rather than just the random arms or something. It's unless they actually make a boss that like detaches his arms or something. I don't know. It's really annoying. Besides that, this boss just kept dropping dots, and my character can't really stand on the dots, even though I had regen Titan. It's not enough to stand in them, so I just ended up having to dodge a lot and make sure I was in a place where I wouldn't get killed if he suddenly did his flamethrower or his like slam. Alright, Jamanra, finishing off Act 2. I went to level 34, was grinding for my Colossal flasks, and I did end up getting another lesser. I put it on my Infernal Cry. I imagine this shouldn't go too bad. So this went really bad. This boss has a few problems that made it take an hour and a half to beat him. The first problem is that he can throw a spear, and if you're in melee range when he does this attack, it's almost impossible to dodge. And this attack is meant for him to use at long range, but if you walk a few centimeters away from him, he'll just do the spear attack randomly, and it's so annoying. I hate when the boss has an attack that's meant for ranged characters, but he'll use it if you're just like literally an inch away from him. It's so dumb. And then he has a cheap shot that he can do when he's phasing, where he'll do one of his attacks while he's literally walking over to cut the caravan. And I absolutely hated that. Then when it came to the second phase, I literally just did not know how to play this as melee, I'm going to be honest. His giant sword attack, I found out quite quickly, is actually pretty hard to dodge when you're in melee range. You had to time it almost perfectly as you rolled around him. And so I just started going further away when he started using that to dodge it. The attack where he sends out his like conductive shards into the ground would cause me to have to run over to a wall predictively in order to make him throw them into a wall, because if he threw them around himself, it just made it so I couldn't hit him whenever they were shooting down their lightning. The tornadoes were incredibly annoying because he would just constantly stand in them sometimes, and it was like, wow, I'm a melee character, why the hell are you standing in your tornado? It would make much more sense for the tornadoes to like at least chase the character, but I don't know. It's terrible. And then the portals that throw daggers, I think, those could sometimes just force you into a corner as a melee character, and then you couldn't get to Jamanra because he's just constantly using ranged attacks. It was such a terrible fight, but I finally beat it.
I will grind you into dust! The Manaketh will pay! The Manaketh will pay! Of hate!
Don't choke, don't choke.
Take our hate! I call the winds!
Oh, God.
Skehema! Azara! You have accomplished nothing.
This is not over. Not yet. Jamanra! I return you to the embrace of death! It is done.
Alright, that's the end of Act 2. I forgot to include a death counter. It was 297 deaths at the end of the act, which is not too bad. It's around 80 deaths. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I'll see everyone in the next video.